Hi, it's nice to see you again. This time, we'll go on with the topic of naming the dishes. Last time, we've talked about Chinese way of naming dishes. There are 4 ways of naming, that is, present type, exaggerating type, literary quoting type, and artistic type. Today, let's move on to the ways of naming dishes in Western food culture. The Western dish names are in the contrast with its counterpart. Generally, the language is much plain and practical. There are basically 3 main ways of naming dishes. The first one is to name a dish after its designer. For example, Caesar salad. It is said that this dish was created by an Italian-American chef and hotel owner, Caesar Cardini. Another example is Duchess potatoes. Actually, it is mashed potatoes. It is named Duchess potatoes just because it was created by an imaginative French duchess. By naming a dish after its designer, it's a way to honor the designer and also a way to provoke diners' interest by imagining the scene of some famous people eating the same dish. The second way is to name a dish with a place which it is related to or where it was created, just like Florentine-style steak, a main course originated in Florence, Italy. This way of naming is also commonly seen in French courses. For example, Lyon potato is fried potato made with onion and garlic, 2 items that are rich in Lyon. Masayo fish soup is a soup made from sea fish, and masayo is a seaport abounding with sea fish. So when we hear the names of a Russian borsch, salad niçoise, kitchen nohin, we may get a hint of the origin of these dishes. The third one is just to give ingredients and the methods or style of cooking to inform diners what it is about. For example, the most famous French dishes are baked snail, French style, foie gras sauté, cream of asparagus soup, but the typical example is the naming of the beef. The Western culture pays so much attention to rationality that the main focus about food is on its nutrition. When naming the dishes of beef, Westerners had a very scientific and rational mind. They dissected a cow and analyzed which part of it is suitable to which method of cooking and how it tastes. So, at the sight of a menu in a Western restaurant, you may lose yourself in various kinds of beef: chuck beef, cube beef, ribeye steak, flank steak, filet mignon or beef tenderloin, hanger steak, New York strip steak, porterhouse steak, round steak, top sirloin steak, skull steak, T-bone steak, and so on. So, do you feel giddy? But when you get familiar with these beefs and think as they do, you will be glad to read the Western menu because you know very clearly what you are ordering. More often than not, the way of cooking is included in the dish name. For example, braised chicken with red wine, seasoning sirloin steak, pork piccata, grilled lamb chop, roasted mutton leg. There is also some metaphorical expression of dish name, but not too many. Take a ladyfinger, for example. It is a small, long, thin cake, and got its name just because its shape looks like a lady's finger. People use the metaphor to evoke a diner's imagination. But generally, the most Western dishes' names are plain and easy to understand. From the different ways of naming dishes, different thinking modes can be perceived. Science has been developed prosperously in the Western world since the 16th to 18th century. The scientific manner influenced its ideology. People tended to consider problems objectively. They would separate individual items from the whole and analyze it thoroughly. Experiment was highlighted and rationality spread widely around Europe. Gradually, the Westerners' rational thinking mode took on shape. In contrast, Chinese thinking mode has been influenced greatly by Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism. All these three ideologies emphasize on comprehension and implication. The Vigiles of ancient classical Chinese is a good embodiment. What's more, the thought of unity of nature and man implies that man is an integral part of nature, and dominated Chinese traditional philosophy. Chinese tended to consider matters as a whole and to seek solutions from the relationship of things. That's why metaphor was often employed to understand and to name new things. It is the power of Vigiles and imagination that brought glorious expressions of Chinese dishes' names. That's all we discussed this time. I hope you have a better understanding of the difference of Chinese and Western food culture by comparing the different ways of naming dishes. Bye.